unit about the structure of our national government. Today we begin with CE.6a, the structure of our national government, more specifically the executive branch. Our founding fathers deliberately separated three branches of government to prevent any one branch from becoming too powerful. The majority of our founding fathers, especially the anti-federalists, felt that the executive branch would become too powerful and almost declare like the monarchy status which used to run the colonies of what became the United States of America. Therefore, they wanted to balance each branch out and give each branch specific roles and their own specific duties in our government. All powers delegated out to any of the branches, whether it's executive, legislative, or judicial, are limited by the powers of our Constitution, which is supposedly the supreme law of the land. Again, you have your executive, legislative, and judicial. Today we focus on the executive branch. So today, let's think about why is the president important, and why is it better to have a president over a king or a dictator? Some of them are self-explanatory, but let's get into that. The executive branch is headed by the president and the vice president of the United States. The president is considered the chief executive officer of the United States of America. Currently, the president is Barack Obama of Illinois and Vice President Joe Biden of Delaware. The president has many duties. First is they must sign, execute, and enforce the laws of the land. This does not mean, however, that the president actually makes the laws. The president only can sign, enforce, execute, or he can veto and reject a law passed by Congress. Legislative branch is the branch that makes the law. The president is the one that determines whether it becomes a law. The president is in charge of preparing an annual budget to Congress. Only about a few weeks ago, we just got through a federal government shutdown because the executive branch could not agree with the legislative branch. And therefore, that disagreement caused a federal government shutdown for over 2 weeks. The president is in charge of preparing the budget and giving that annual budget to Congress. In case you do not know, a budget is a plan that outlines a person or an organization's goals and spending. Many of us and our families have personal budgets, and they have those budgets to run weekly, monthly, or yearly activities and lives. The president is also in charge of appointing cabinet officers, ambassadors, and federal judges. Again, in order to get them confirmed, he must seek approval from the legislative branch and the Senate. Cabinet is the group of advisors to the president. Ambassadors are people who serve overseas and represent our country in other countries. Federal judges are people who sit on the benches of our federal court system. Again, the presidential cabinet is a group of individuals who advise and assist the president in his, or eventually probably her, duties. Okay? They are heads of various departments of our federal government. Again, they are appointed by the president, and they must be confirmed by the Senate. There's a couple departments, but we'll go through more in class. The president also is in charge of administering to the federal bureaucracy, and this includes all the various departments in our federal government. Again, this is just a bureaucracy is basically our entire system of federal government. If your parents have jobs with our federal government, they are somewhere in part of the bureaucracy. Whether it's the Department of Congress, the Department of Agriculture, Department of Defense, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, any of those are all part of this giant web we call the federal bureaucracy. A bureaucracy is a body of non-elected government officials. Their job is to help make public policy meaning laws for the good of the people. Who are the four parts, or what are the four parts, I should say, of the executive branch? The president is the head of the executive branch. They run on a ticket with the vice president. The cabinet is the group that advises the president in making decisions. And then, of course, you have the federal bureaucracy. All heads of the federal bureaucracy are appointed by the president and must again be confirmed by the legislative branch. I hope that gave you a brief summary of the duties and responsibilities of the executive branch in our national structure of government.